welcome to the Tween Comic Book Club. We have the wonderful Caitlin, the amazing Lindsay, and special guest Nathan joining us. We're going to be talking about Snapdragon. My name is Mandy. I will be your show's co-host. So take it away, Caitlin and Lindsay.
Hooray! Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Tween Comic Book Club. I am Caitlin, and I am dressed up as the Roadkill Witch, Jax, today. Lindsay is an adorable possum, and we have our fantabulous Meowdy guest, Nathan, here, and we're so excited to talk to all of you about Snapdragon by Kat Leyh. Oh, it's the best. I have a few quick announcements before we take things down the road. Some of our libraries are open for browsing and computer use. Curbside services are always there as well. So definitely come and say hi to us. Give us a meowdy. Let's see. We also are streaming on YouTube now. So that's exciting. Hello, YouTube. So yeah, give us a like, follow us on our YouTube channel. It's a thing. And we also have our spring readings challenge right now. So if you read for 5 hours or participate in a program like this, you get a free book to keep forever and ever. Maybe it's Snapdragon, maybe it is an awesome comic, who knows, but sign up on our website, okay? Yes, announcements done. Now let's break some ice. This icebreaker is really fun. So Snapdragon, main character, is named after a flower. All of the women in her family are named after flowers. If you had a flower name, what would it be? And readers, viewers, tell us what your flower name would be in the chat, okay? Go ahead and type that in the chat. What would your flower name be? Let's go with Lindsay.
Well, let me think. You know, if my mom was choosing a flower name, she'd probably, I don't know, choose like a rose or something. But if I'm choosing it myself, I am like Jessamine. I am very allergic to flowers. I do not like them. They make my eyes really itchy. So I would prefer to be named after a succulent. I would either choose, I'm going between cactus or an aloe vera plant. What do you think? What do you think is the better name?
Oh.
I love both of those.
They're good.
Plants.
I want to know what the viewers and the listeners think. Aloe vera,
Yeah, because aloe has medicinal purposes, but cactus is like its own self-defense in and of itself. So, and I think aloe and cactus would both be good names.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll choose cactus aloe or aloe cactus.
Fantastic. Well, it is wonderful to have you here, Aloe Cactus.
Thank you.
Nathan, what would your name be?
Oh my gosh. So like Lindsay was saying, I think in the book it's that the mom chooses her favorite flower.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what my mom's favorite flower is. It's lilacs. But I'm not my mom's favorite child, so don't think she would call me lilacs. I think, you know what? I think she would call me sneezewort. If you're not familiar with it, sneezewort is a hardy, drought-tolerant plant that prefers full sun and moist but well-drained soil. So I think that's what my name would be, sneezewort.
Okay, sneezewort. It is an honor to meet you. That's a great name. I think my name, a flower that is super cool, is this rare flower that is only living in one country right now. It's in New Zealand, and it's called the Middle Mist Camellia. And there's only one in existence. So I think I would be a camellia for sure. A Middle Mist Camellia.
No,
they're pretty.
Only one flower.
Only one. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, and it looks like someone on YouTube said, is that a sunshine flower? That's okay. That's nice. Nice, Joe. All right, I like that.
That's a
Do
positive.
we have any other name suggestions, Miss Mandy?
We do. We have two, Violet or Rose. Very classic flower names.
Violet and Rose. Okay, great flower names. They would be friends with Snapdragon for sure. Nice, nice. I love it. Okay, well, we broke some ice. So we understand now that some readers, maybe they're joining us and they haven't completed the book, or maybe they haven't even heard of Snapdragon before. So Miss Lindsay, can you give a book talk, just an overview of the story so everyone feels included?
Yeah, definitely. So the book that we read this month, if you haven't had a chance to read it yet, is Snapdragon by Kat Leyh. And if you haven't read it and you're looking at the cover and you're like, what does this have to do with flowers? Well, like we said, it has nothing to do with flowers for the most part. It's about a girl whose name is Snapdragon. And most people call her Snap. She's 10 years old. She lives with her single mom. And lots of times she feels really different than the other kids at school. They can be really mean to her. They call her weird and they make fun of her. So she kind of has a hard time making friends at school with other kids her age. So at the beginning of the book, her best friend, besides her mom, of course, is this adorable little guy here, her dog, Good Boy. And at the beginning of the book, Good Boy gets lost and Snap knows she has to do whatever it takes to get him back. Even if that means knocking on the door of the scary witch in town, who everyone knows collects roadkill to eat it and make spells of the bones. But when Snap goes to confront the witch, she finds that she's actually not that scary at all. She actually helped Good Boy. He lost a paw and she can help patch him up and get him good as new. And Snap finds out that the scary old witch, her name is Jax, and she's a little different, but she can often be found wandering around in her house in her garden wearing her Crocs and her Hawaiian shirt. So she's actually and helping animals. She's really nice. So when Snap finds a litter of baby possums whose mother died, she knows that Jax is the one she needs to take them to help take care of them until they're old enough to be on their own. But Jax tells Snap that she'll take care of the possums, but only if Snap helps her. And Snap finds out there's actually a lot of things she can help Jax with, like collecting roadkill, which, yes, she does do that. And it's a little weird at first, but Jax explains that she buries the roadkill, and then when they're just bones, she digs up the bones and makes articulations on the skeletons that she sells online to collectors and museums. And Snap finds that actually really cool. And so even when she's at school, she finds another classmate, Lulu, who also kind of doesn't fit in. And Lulu's not the mean kid that Snap originally thought that she was. And Lou also feels different and misunderstood. So even though Snap still feels a little different than the other kids, she's not quite so lonely anymore. She's got Jax, she's got Lou as friends. And then just when she thinks she finally has everything kind of figured out, she realizes that maybe Jax is an actual witch after all. And maybe Jax can teach Snap how to be a witch too. And maybe being different is not so bad after all. So that is Snapdragon by Kat Leyh. As you can tell, we love it a lot. So read it. If you would like to, we have it at the library.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. That was amazing. Oh, it is a fantabulous book. I mean, when people want to dress up as characters from a book, you know it's good. And that's how good this comic book is. So everyone read it and let us know who your favorite characters are in the chat. Just let us know your deep thoughts about this comic book. And right now, actually, we're going to start talking about it a little bit more in depth. So I have a question for everyone watching. So let us know in the chat. This is a kind of a tough question because it pertains to a little bit more of a serious subject in the story. So Snapdragon, she often feels lonely and different, and she even gets bullied by the other kids at school. Now, how does she deal with these challenges? And what makes her feel more confident and accepted for who she is? So readers, if you've ever felt like Snapdragon, how would you deal with this situation? And what do you think are the best what are the best options for that? We want to know what you think. Bullying happens, and we just, we want to know what you think, how you would proceed with this situation. So yeah, type it in the chat, let us know. And Miss Mandy will tell us a little bit later. But I do have a question now for Nathan Meowdy. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. All right. My question for you is: there's a scene in the comic where a sales clerk tells Snap that the book that she wants to read isn't for nice little girls. Now, that's a weird thing to say to someone, making a judgment about what they want to read. That's rude and not right. Have you ever felt bad about wanting to read a certain book or reading a certain book?
Oh man, that's a really good question, Caitlin. I was thinking about this because I think I was prompted. You know, that section of the book made me think to myself, like, what would I answer? What books have I felt like this with? And the thing is, like, I can't remember a single particular book, but I've had this experience many times. And as I was thinking about it more, it wasn't even about the books that I wanted to read. It was about the people that I was with. So I was in a pretty serious literature graduate program, and I felt like reading non-serious literature there was kind of frowned on. And then I had a bunch of friends who read a lot of popular literature, and they sort of thought it was not very cool to read really serious literature. And I realized it had nothing to do with me at all, or the books that I liked. It was that the people around me thought they were strange books for me to read because they weren't books that they wanted to read for whatever reason. Since that is a sad experience, and I've definitely felt that way. I wonder too if any readers have ever had a specific book or felt this way too. And maybe if you examine, is it the people that are around you that make you feel that way, or is it the book itself? One of the great things is now I get to hang out with people like Caitlin and Lindsay and Andy and Addie, and they don't care what books you read because they all work at the public library, and we all know at the library that all reading is good reading, which is the best place to be. So I'm so happy to be around people that love reading, no matter what it is you're reading, and I don't feel like any book is a bad book for me to read anymore.
That is right. And that is why that part of the book is so important too, because Snap's mom comes to her defense and says, no, she will read this book about skeletons and taxidermy. And that was great. That was a really cool moment. And yeah, I loved it.
If you don't have that support, you can come to any of us and we will definitely be there to back you up. Read whatever you want.
Whatever. All reading is good reading. We'll sing it, sing it, sing it. Well, thank you, Nathan. Okay, Lindsay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
All right. So Jax, AKA the Roadkill Witch, she tells Snap, witches don't fit into the roles we're supposed to. So we're always on the outside. And so witches got made into scary things to be feared, to excuse the cruel things done to us. That's what scared folks still do. In what way does Jax show Snap the difference between what witches really are as opposed to what she imagines them to be at the beginning of the book? And in what way does Snap also fit into Jax's description of a witch?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think at the beginning of the book, it really shows Jax as a whole. She really is the perfect example of what she's talking about here about witches. Because in the beginning of the book, Snap goes to Jax's house thinking she's exactly the scary, evil kind of witch that Jax is talking about here. Because that's how witches were always depicted. There wasn't the kind of witch that Jax is. That was never seen in the things that Snap loves to watch in all the movies about witches. And it's not just witches, but I think people who are different. And Jax is kind of seen as a scary, evil person in general because she doesn't fit into the mold of what people believe a woman should fit into. Yes, she's a bit eccentric, but as Snap gets to know her, she sees that her eccentricities are really awesome. Like, Snap really loves those weird things. And everything that Jax does is out of kindness towards other creatures. There's no evilness or maliciousness in it. And I think what Jax tells her in the quote that you mentioned here, I think it really resonates with Snap too, in regards to the person that she is also, because everyone has always seen her as different and weird and has treated her pretty badly because of it. But, instead of trying to change who she is, Jack shows her that it can really be something to be proud of. And not everyone may understand her, but the fact that she's different can be a really great thing, and it can allow her to help other creatures. And I think not many people have shown her the beauty in being different before, but I think Jax really encapsulates that, which is why she and Jax become such good friends, and why Jack's mentorship really means so much to her.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah, Jax is pretty cool. That's such a good point about how like Snap eventually feels like she doesn't have to change. She's perfect, and there's so many different nuances, and nothing's binary or has to look a certain way. That's a really great answer. Thanks, Lindsay. That's awesome. Miss Mandy, do we have any comments, concerns, or requests on?
So we have some comments that people just really love this comic. It's so awesome. Especially Lou. Got some fans of Lou.
Lou.
And to Nathan's point, sometimes music is also kind of judged that way for people saying, oh, why are you listening to that? So we have some readers talking about the comparison to music too.
Oh, good points. Good points. Do we have any readers kind of with feedback about how to deal with a bully in school or anything like that? Okay. Well, what do you guys think? Nathan, Lindsay, do you have any thoughts about that? How does she deal with the challenges? Lindsay, you kind of talked about how she just accepts who she is, but what else makes her feel more confident? Or like Lou, what makes them feel confident?
That's a good question. One of the things I liked that Snap does is finds subjects that she's interested in, and she really leans into them and thinks about them. She gets that book about animal anatomy, and there's great sections where she's quizzing her mom about who has more bones, a mouse or a human. And there's really great, interesting trivia there, and that really helps her through some of those hard patches where she doesn't really have friends yet. So just remembering who you are and leaning into the things that you're interested in. I know it's still a hard time, you'd still be lonely, but it let her really examine a subject that she was really interested in. That's a good time to do something like that.
Yeah, and I was thinking kind of along that lines. I think she kind of waits to find the people who accept her for who she is too. She doesn't, try and change who she is to fit the bullies, but she finds Jax, who's a little bit different, and Lulu, who is now comfortable being herself when she's around Snap. So with them, they find in each other people who accept them for who they are, instead of trying to change to fit what these kind of bullies think they.
Oh, we have a response.
Yeah, we have a reader that says that they would stand up for Snapdragon if they saw her being bullied.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm so glad. We have the best readers.
I mean, Snapdragon does that for Lou, so
yeah.
Snapdragon gets to be that model for some of our readers too. And even though she gets in trouble, she has the support of her mom, even though she headbutted the kid right in the solar plexus.
That was epic. That was intense. Yeah. Wow. Good job, Snap. All right. Well, we have one last question to talk about, which this is my favorite. Because it's a graphic novel, the art is so stunning and surreal and gorgeous and bright and neon, but then there's like grossness too. It's just the best. So we all picked a panel that we thought was our favorite. And readers, let us know if you have a favorite panel or picture, or I mean, just like character drawing in this story, because it was hard to pick, honestly. Mm-hmm. And I'll go first. So my panel is just a bouquet of violets, and it's Jack's on her first date with Jessamine. And I am a romantic, I am a softie. And this makes me like tear up because it's just so perfect and romantic. Like Jax is just trying to show her affection to Jessamine. And she does it with these like cute, dainty little purple flowers that like echo down, like it becomes a reoccurring theme of just like, like kind of quiet, like hidden beauty. And Jessamine just looks so surprised and shocked. And I'm just a romantic. And I thought this was the sweetest, most romantic little scene. And I just loved it so much. And that's why I picked it. All right, let's see. Who's next? Nathan, go ahead. Tell us what panel you picked and why.
Oh, I kind of cheated. I picked a whole page. Part of it was because it was hard to snip those panels out, but that's actually one of the parts that I liked. This book, like Caitlin said, there's so many great pictures. I actually had a really hard time too. I was flipping through and looking at every picture, and they were all amazing. And one of the things I really loved is the sense of motion and movement, even in still moments in this book. Things seem to be moving at a fast pace, and there's excitement on every page. And this particular set of panels, some of them are curved at the bottom, which is an unusual. Usually you think of our panels as square, and these ones are curved. And I thought that gave this a really interesting sense that they were really into what's happening. The other thing that's great about this particular page is we've got them dancing, Lou and Snap. And we were talking about how lonely Lou felt, but the expression of joy that comes out with this sense of movement on this page is so wonderful. And Lou you can tell how excited Lou feels in this moment. And just a panel before, or 2 panels before, Lou was really nervous about going into Snap's mom's room to find that skirt that Lou is wearing here. And once it's on, Lou feels so great, and they have such a good time. So I had such a great time reading this book. I had to pick it up and read it a second time. And so this set of panels really expresses how I feel about this book, the expression of joy and love and movement. And I'm talking too fast, and I'll throw it over to Lindsay.
Oh my gosh, I felt exactly the same way you did. I would read a page and I would pick my favorite panel, and then I'd read the next page, and then I had another favorite, and then read the next page, and I had another favorite. It was so hard to choose one. I loved pretty much anyone with Good Boy was like my favorite for all. But in the end, I chose this panel here that was towards the end of the book, and I really like this one in particular because I feel like it kind of encapsulates. I cannot say that word today. Encapsulates the story as a whole, just in this one panel, because you finally have Jessamine and Jax reconnecting after all these years, and it's so sweet. And I love the way that it ended after that, after hearing kind of the way that they parted ways for so many years, even though they loved each other so much. And then you've got I've got the humor, of course, because Snap is like, did no one even notice that I caught this casserole dish? He's like, you also got her using her magic. So it's like Thanksgiving dinner, and then on the other side of the family, you've got Jessamine's kids and sons and daughters-in-laws, and one of them says, who is this white woman? Because they don't even know the whole saga that has led to this moment. So I just felt that was just a beautiful way to capture everything in the ending of this story. I love that one.
Oh, you guys, you picked such great panels. Good job, everyone. This book, it's just all the feels. We love it so much. We can tell that the tweens and readers feel the same way too. All right, well, it's time for the quiz. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a rare host today.
Oh, yes. I have to get ready. I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting my whole life to be a game show host. So I've got my tie.
Ow.
My jacket. I have
This is official.
a tie clip. I have a tie clip. And my Bob Barker microphone.
Yes.
I am so excited. Here we go. All right, welcome to Tween Comic Book Trivia. Question number 1. is about taxidermy. But before we get to that, let me introduce our contestants from beautiful Sacramento. Caitlin. From beautiful Sacramento, Lindsay. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Are you ready?
Yes.
Taxidermy is A, preserving an animal's body through stuffing or mounting. B, a sick dance move that Nathan will demonstrate right now. Or C, those yellow cars driving all over New York City. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, we need readers to type in the chat. Let us know what your answers are. I am okay. Looks like we already have a response.
Someone is very passionately saying, Caitlin, choose A.
Okay.
But we do have a reader that was pretty impressed with Nathan's dance moves. So we have an A and a B.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
We have someone on
Okay.
YouTube who's saying B.
Dang.
Oh man, see, I was gonna go with C because taxidermy sounds like a herd of taxis.
Yeah.
But
That's what. But I mean, okay, Nathan, can we see a brief snippet of the dance move one more time?
yes.
Here we go. That's taxidermy.
I think I'm gonna have to go with B. I don't remember that from the book, but that's gotta be it.
Okay, well, I have a reader who's telling me A, so I gotta say A. That's what I gotta do.
All right. Are we ready for the answer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is A, preserving an animal's body through stuffing or mounting. Caitlin takes the early lead, 1-0. There's still a chance for Lindsay to catch up, though. And so we'll move right on to question number 2. Snapdragon's dog is named A, Rude Boy. B, Robert Downey Jr. Jr. C, Good Boy.
Well,
Okay.
it's obviously Robert Downey Jr. Jr., right? It's gotta be.
It's a wonderful name.
It's a great name. It really, there's a ring to it for sure.
There is a ring to it, but is it Snapdragon's dog's name?
Well, I don't know. Actually, I know what it is. I know the real answer because this happens to be my favorite character in the book. So, what do you think, Caitlin?
Okay. This is tough. Do we have any readers' responses?
We do. Again, Caitlin, someone is really rooting for you. They want you to choose C. But we also have a reader that wants Lindsay to choose B.
Whoa.
Oh.
I do love Robert Downey Jr. Jr. I was gonna go with a different answer, but I'll go with my readers.
Okay.
Hopefully you're
All right.
for me readers, even though that's not what I thought it was.
Okay. Well, if you're going with B, I'm going with C.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for the final answer?
Yes.
The answer is C, Good Boy. Good Boy. Robert Downey Jr. Jr. is the name of my son.
Oh my gosh! I knew I heard it before. Ah.
The great guess. Oh, here's a follow-up just for the audience members. Just for the audience members out there. Do you know what food Good Boy does not like to eat? This is in the book. Is it A, bananas, B, briskets, or C, broccoli ice cream? Readers, listeners, if you're out there and you want to join in on the quiz, what do you think the answer to this question is? Good Boy has a food that he does not like. Is it A, bananas, B, I don't remember what I said, or C, broccoli ice cream? I guess I eliminated one of the answers on my own. So sorry. All right, let's move right along to question number 3. Type your answers to the bonus question in the chat. Mandy, if anybody answers one, please interrupt me at any point. All right, here we go.
Okay.
This is number 3 for all the jelly beans. What are the names of Vi's ex-boyfriend's 2 pit bulls that Jax rescues? Is it A, Snuggles and Snookums, B, Crash and Cujo, or C, Broccoli and Bacon? And while you answer, I'm going to do a little light reading.
Okay. This is tough. Because he had those 2 adorable pit bulls. And man, this is tough. I don't know. I'm really drawn to Snuggles and Snookums.
I think that's my favorite, but they're kind of like cutesy names. And I think the guy, the ex-boyfriend, he was kind of mean. And I feel like Nathan's reading material is showing me that maybe he would pick a name of a dog that was shown to be kind of mean. And it looks like that dog is a little mean on that book. So I'm going to go with Crash and Cujo.
Okay.
Because I don't think he would eat broccoli either. Maybe bacon, but I don't think he would eat broccoli.
Broccoli and Bacon are really great names, but you know what? I'm gonna go with Snuggles and Snookums, and I'm gonna have to stick with that. But do we have any responses, Mandy?
People seem to agree with Lindsay, going with Crash and Cujo. Yep.
Okay.
Were there any responses to the other question?
Oh. Well, there's another one from YouTube.
No. Okay. All right. Well, I will give the answer to question number 3. It is B, Crash and Cujo.
Dang.
I was not keeping score. Who won?
I couldn't tell you. Come on, Mr. Host. First rule of game show host.
Caitlin, did you win?
I think Caitlin, the readers helped Caitlin.
Yeah, I have to honestly, all credit towards the readers. They knew their stuff. YouTube also did a really good job. They had all the right answers. And in my heart of hearts, I think they got the bonus question right too.
Congratulations, Caitlin. Mandy, tell them what she's won.
Caitlin, you have won a brand new car from 1998.
Wow, the year of.
Good luck passing smog check with that.
Honored. Thank you. I know I'd like to thank the readers for their help because I truly would not have been able to win. Thanks everyone. Well,
thank you.
I think that car is older than some of our readers too. That's good.
Yay. Okay, well, let's cool off a little bit. I won. Let's do a fun art activity.
Okay.
So here's the art activity, which I forgot to announce at the beginning, but we have time. Readers, brooms are so yesterday. Witches don't travel on brooms. It's not accurate at all, okay? In Snapdragon, they travel via motorcycle, a stag, like an actual deer. And then there's also, they travel on a bench.
Yeah.
So brooms are just they're not a thing. So I would like you guys for this art activity to draw an object that you would use as your means of transportation. Magical transportation object that would help take you wherever you need to go to help you fly about town, go, to the ice cream shop, maybe do a few errands. What object would get you there? And readers, let us know what object you think you'd use as your own kind of witch. So type it in the chat. Let us know. How would you travel about? Do you have a question, Nathan? Or are you drawing?
I was just drawing vigorously. I apologize.
Amazing. I mean, would you use shoes or maybe a hat to help you fly around with a hat or something like that? Or a cape? I'm not sure. What object would you use to travel?
A cat bus.
A cat bus. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many ways. Okay. Well, you know what? I see that the artists are hard at work. Who would like to go first? Who would like to show their amazing transportation method? All right, Lindsay.
Here to go first.
Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking about this, and there's this movie called Hocus Pocus where they run out of brooms and one of the witches takes a vacuum cleaner because that's all they have. And so I thought it was really funny. So I wanted to do that. But I just thought that wouldn't be very comfortable. Like I totally agree with Jax. She's just like, brooms are very uncomfortable to ride. So that's what I chose the bench. So I was like, oh yes, I need to find the most comfortable means of transportation I can. So this is what I drew. This is my flying Barca lounger. It's got the seat rest, and we're flying over the ocean here. I'm not in it because I don't like drawing people, but look how cozy this looks.
Oh my God.
That's
excellent.
incredible.
Thank you. Oh, and also while I'm showing my artwork, readers, I just love this book. And as you can tell, we were very inspired. So I wanted to make an articulation too, like Jack, but I was a little scared to like find roadkill and stuff. So I made one out of household ingredients. I think.
Oh,
this is my iguana.
Perfect.
Yes, we got the head and the body, and it's a one-toed iguana. They're very rare. This is the only known manifestation of one.
I can't look away.
That's
It's
incredible.
beautiful.
Yes.
My gosh, you are a really fantastic witch, I have to say. You
you.
really did a great job. Well done. Your transportation mode, amazing. Good job. Good job. Well done, Lindsay.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Can I show my art now?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
okay.
I need to see it.
All right. So it's funny. I was thinking along the same lines of Lindsay. So in that movie, Hocus Pocus, someone uses a vacuum cleaner, but vacuum cleaners are also like, they're not the newest technology. So I was thinking, what's even newer than a vacuum cleaner? And it's a robotic vacuum cleaner called a Roomba. And I threw myself floating on it there. There I am, barefoot, flying away on my Roomba. I'm realizing now that it's probably not very comfortable, and I'd have to get a really big one to be able to fly. But there we go, on the Roomba. So I like that. I thought that was a fun idea. What's funny is I also wanted to make an articulation, and just like Lindsay, I'm kind of squeed out by bones, so I also made something household items. Can I show it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is my 2-scale life-size mini giraffe with really big legs. He's a runner in his lifetime. There's the tail, and I've even got the little ossicones on the top, if you can see them. So
Wow.
there's my articulation.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
It's so funny that we have the same idea.
Great minds think alike about taxidermy and articulation. Wow. Yeah.
Vacuum cleaners, flying vacuum.
Incredible. Mandy, do we have any responses?
Yeah, some great ones. So a vacuum, that seemed to be a
Okay.
common theme. And
Excellent.
also a skateboard.
Ooh.
Okay. Genius. That is so smart. Of course, a skateboard. Why?
Yeah. That is clever.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because I was thinking about, I just turned 41 years of age, and I thought about buying a skateboard. Instead, I bought a Dutch oven. But
Okay.
maybe I can fly on my Dutch oven, but a skateboard is
Hey, you're saying you can't. Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Well, those are great responses. Well done, everyone. Incredible art. I'm very impressed. So now I'd like to kind of talk about read-alikes, because right now I don't know if there's a sequel to Snapdragon, and if you are just craving something else similar to this incredible comic book, let's give the readers some other suggestions. And I'll go first. We have a book called Scary Stories for Young Foxes. And this is, there are pictures, but it's more, it's a chapter book. So, but there are pictures. And it is legit terrifying. Like, grown-ups can't even handle this book. Like, they get nightmares from it because it's so spooky and quiet and subtle and sinister. And it's about these little tiny adorable foxes that start listening to these ghost stories, and they soon start to realize those ghost stories aren't just stories, they're real. and they're following them. And I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. It's honestly so spooky, scary. But I think it'd be a really great read alike because, there's foxes and Snapdragon. They kind of like touch on the macabre and like kind of gross and eerie. And there's like a similar kind of tone with scary stories for young foxes. Yes. Oh, I think there's a lot in common. And I think Snapdragon would love reading this book. So that's my read alike. Nathan, do you have one?
Oh yeah. So man, thinking of the foxes is scaring me. There's that when one-eye fox like looks. There's some early scenes that are really scary. So I'm frightened. So I chose something that's not quite as scary, though it is. It's a teen novel, so it is a little more mature. It's a murder mystery book, and so there is a little bit scary, but I don't know if it's as scary as the one that you're talking about, Caitlin. This is called Elatsoe. It's by Darcy Little Badger, and why I thought it was interesting is because the main character in that, Ellie or Elatsoe, can also wake up ghosts, and so she has a pet dog, Kirby, who had passed away and is her like constant companion, and it's so cute and lovely. Even more maybe than the possum mom in this, because the dog is always with her, going everywhere she goes, and that part of the book is really fun. Also, it has a lot to do with like the ways that the past is impacting the present, which this book does too. Jax and Jessamine's relationship, it does play into who Snap really is in certain ways. It helps her find herself knowing about them. And so Elatsoe is always thinking about her sixth great grandmother, Elatsoe, who has the same name. And the actions of that great grandmother really impact what Elatsoe wants to do. And it's a really interesting page turning novel that has a lot to do with also finding yourself and understanding who you are, just like Snapdragon. So I think they're very similar. It is a novel, a print novel, so there aren't pictures, except at the beginning of every chapter, there are these wonderful illustrations that sort of give a sense of tone without giving away too many plot points for the chapter. It's a really fantastic book if you want to try something a little more challenging, but that's still really fun and is in a similar kind of world to this. There are also like elves and fairies and vampires in that book. So if you like those kinds of things, you'll find them as well.
Oh, that is a fantabulous choice. That book rocked my socks. It's so good. I loved it. Oh, everyone read it. Read all the books. It's amazing. And hopefully there will be another Snapdragon soon too. We can only hope. But you guys, that's the end. I have a big announcement because next Tween Comic Book Club, we are discussing The Delightful Lowriders by Kathy Camper, and the author herself will be here. Cue the horns, cue the beeping, cue all the angels singing. It's going to be amazing. So join us April 9th on Facebook and YouTube it's going to be epic, guys. You have to be there. Join us, please. It's going to be amazing. Tween Comic Book Club. Well done, everyone. We got to go. So thank you, readers. Bye.
Bye, Sacramento, and everywhere.